Appreciate you guys taking the time again. Thank you for covering us. This moment brings, a bunch of emotions, feelings, and thoughts. We're obviously, with any first game, there's just a great deal of anticipation. There's excitement, but, it makes you question fall camp. It makes you question, who's going to be in the game at this time versus this play. And we've been going through that and reconstructing game plans, and we've really had an awesome fall camp. I think the one thing that first games bring, fans, support, the coaching staff, the players, there's always so much hope, anticipation, but there's always the unknown. We're going to have some guys that are making their first starts and big moments. And quite frankly, that's exciting because this is going to be a really fun journey. This is the first step in finding out if we can reach our full potential. This first game just happens to be on ESPN versus a very fast, talented football team, that we don't have a whole lot of film on. Polarizing team with a lot of excitement. And so our players, are excited to test themselves versus a different color jersey, obviously, block and tackle somebody else. It's been a long camp for us. I think I really, it makes me wonder, if we could have started Colorado a little earlier or pushed them back even a little bit. But our guys are really have transitioned from practicing and just the mundane of meeting into where we're preparing. And we're preparing to go out west to be the best we can be. I think this W will be one that'll be very challenging to capture, but it's going to be exciting to see, when and how this thing unfolds. And we really do believe in our conditioning level right now. We believe in our physical toughness. And if this is a 4-quarter game, I trust that our players are going to execute in big moments. And that's just, how many times have you heard the word exciting in the last 2 or 3 weeks, right? Like, it's just the anticipation of it. I'm as excited about the unknowns as I am about the predictors of things that, we hope to get established in this ballgame. So with that, I'd like to open it up for questions.
Tim, do you have an update on Cole Wisniewski's status?
Yeah, Cole, we got the news that we were anticipating. Cole's going to be down for a significant amount of time. The surgery that he did have, went well. All things are saying Cole will play football again some point, but he's gonna miss significant time, and Cole will be a big part of our extended staff now. With a leadership role, and he's worked so hard to get back, from the injury, and it's always unfortunate when a guy finds out the news that he's not gonna be able to help us here, at least for the better half of the season, for sure.
You anticipate him playing sometime in 2024?
I wouldn't even dare to answer that with the type of foot injury and the way feet are and the type of surgery they had to go back in there and kind of, do. My anticipation is that within 8 or 10 weeks we'll get more information that will allow us to start to cultivate a plan if he does come back, and also cultivate a plan moving forward in what his aspirations are as far as wanting to play more, continue with an NFL dream. And we'll be very supportive of Cole. He's been the ultimate Bison, and like I said, it's just Cole's handled this really well, and he's already added to the safety room, and he's helped Devin, and I think we're gonna find a role for him that he can make an impact on Saturdays.
Got the offensive line spots figured out between Zabel and Miller. Just kind of what did you see from those guys that got those starting roles, and how much of a relief is it to have those guys in there now?
Well, Miller, that was kind of anticipated. I mean, for me, I I never want to come in here and speak on things that I don't have knowledge on, right? I never saw him in person. He got up and running, and honestly, he's been a rock, and he's confident right now. And so Mason was kind of penciled in at that spot. Glad that he's healthy and we have him and those kind of things. And then, Rock's kind of one of those guys that's an older guy that does play best when he's on one side of the ball and he's able to focus on one position. And so it's been great to see his continual improvement, or leveraging the fact that he's out there playing one spot. You kind of got to see his where was his potential? How good can he be?
You guys have had tall guards before. I know a lot of, say if you build a guard in a lab, he's probably 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Why does Rock work inside even being as long as he is?
Well, I think he's a natural bender. I mean, he has the ability to play with good vertical leverage. When we talk about vertical leverage, the black and white answer is if your pads aren't under the chin of the defender, you're wrong. And so he has that capability. My time at Iowa again, and some of the struggles that we went through at Wyoming and finding what you would classify as prototypical. I'm just here to tell you guys, our tackles do not need to be 6'5" moving forward. They have to move their feet, stay in front of people, stop them in pass pro, and move people in the run game. Okay, they come in all shapes, sizes, and form. I like some of our guards are in the 6'3" range, and they're athletic and they're really physical. Some of the guys that you'll see down the road here. And so I just think the best combination of 5, shook out that way. I've seen a lot of tackles. And I'm thinking about Scott Fuchs right now. Okay, I've seen a lot of tackles be 6'7" that refuse to punch and use their length. Go play basketball. Because we have to throw our hands violently and create separation in the pass pro game.
On the defensive line, any of these guys could have been starters on this 2 deep here. Kind of how did you decide on these 4? And just kind of how much of a rotation is there going to be on the defensive front there?
I'm going to be honest, I didn't spend 1 second looking at it. I never would question Coach Gazer. Sometimes depth charts are just a seniority, where are they at in their careers? I mean, Keenan Wilson's going to play for us, and he's on the 2 deep, and I'm excited about that. But Eli's an explosive guy. I mean, he's the bell cow in there, and when he's on top of his game, he's capable of making some TFLs. And then you got a guy like Dutenheffer, we can't wait to watch him make a few more plays because he does his job extremely well. And so there's just – Brian Schatz become a playmaker all of a sudden in his career. And heck, I mean, all he was in there was just to be a tough guy for a while. And then all of a sudden, like Ryan Drev, so we'll see what that looks like and how that shakes out. But you guys know in this game, they're going to play with some tempo. They're going to play with some pace. We'll take our opportunities to rotate guys. The one thing I've challenged the defense on, okay, we got another, a 2-minute warning now, TV timeouts. I don't want us rotating for the sake of rotating. This is not intramurals. And we need to go try to win a football game and play the guys to the proper amount of reps because it's going to be a long season.
Speaking of changes, how's the practice with the in-helmet communication gone, and just kind of what's that process
like?
Yeah,
it's gone extraordinary. I mean, I just wish we had the in-helmet communication sooner than later, and we're excited about. We used it basically every day. 1 or 2 days there were some glitches, but the quarterback letting our coordinator know that there's a problem. That went really good. We got a solution for that. And I've been really Patty was right. Our commissioner, we haven't had one glitch with our iPads or our pads on the sideline with the technology. And so, a big knock on wood because we're going to go in there and use our stuff. And therefore, if ours goes down, they get to maintain their communication and their process, and they can keep going, and we'll have to get our stuff fixed.
You mentioned a little bit getting ready for a team without film from this year. Kind of what's your approach going into a game like that, and kind of what does it come down to at that point?
It's comforting on a lot of levels because the singular focus stays with execution and us. And I think first games are about playing clean football, being opportunistic. Good, clean plays will always be the result of great fundamentals, right? So those are the things that coaches want to preach. And I want that more here. I don't want our offensive call card to have 250 plays on it because it can. I want us to narrow some things down to really lock into a game plan and be able to focus on us. So I'd say that's the positive. The negative is, you got this whole list of I was going to talk, and you guys are going to ask questions. I don't know a whole lot about these guys outside of being able to tell you they're a transfer from here or there. We haven't seen them in their black and gold uniforms playing their concepts and their, deployed plays. I mean, so it's all a little bit challenging that way. But I like the fact that we get to focus on ourselves and us and the people that play the cleanest will have a chance to win this game.
What did Trent Fraley do to earn his spot?
I think just consistently improve. Even since the day he got here, he's been bought in. He's one of the stronger guys in the weight room. Coach Kramer had made comments early on like, Tim, you're going to like this guy. He works the right way. He cares about his performance. Therefore, he's got a sense of pride, right? And then I think, he showed the ability to be a high football IQ guy, and obviously his background helps him with that. And therefore, his talent was able to show through fast as a transfer kid, and he flat won that job, and we're excited about him. And I think the combination, the way it shook out, really allowed MP to play faster, quicker too. You know, not having to worry. We're going to rock Hayden as the backup center, and we believe in that. But pulling that off of him, you know, 2 weeks ago, like I mentioned we would, really helped MP as well.
You add, you know, his dad's the offensive line coach for the Lions. Can you add to how that, does that make a difference?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think if you're around, you know, most kids walk into their dad's office or their dad's area and they see this, that, or the other thing. And I'm sure he's been around playbooks or his dad watching film. And if there's any interest at all, I would imagine a father puts his arm around his son and says, hey, you see this center? He's pretty good. And look at this and look at that. Yeah, that has to be part of it, right? He seems to be like a football junkie as well, which I like. And I think he's learning how to study, and he's embracing the whole group. And, you know, Gray's really brought him in. Gray brought him in early. And I think, you know, it was not that we were predicting this, but it was something you could picture and visualize.
Do you plan to play just 5 O-linemen, you maybe some sort of rotation, going 7 or 8 deep?
Yeah,
How do you see that playing?
yeah, good question. You know, we're going to get together tomorrow, like we will when we get to the hotels on Fridays, typically, and we will talk about rotations, and I'll be on the exact same page. I would say this today. I think Jack Lewinsky, you know, has earned the opportunity to play some snaps in this game, and he provides a hardness and a toughness. But I think in this game, he would be the one that would rotate in, and we'll try to rock the other 4, 5 guys.
Where's your rank in terms of quarterbacks that you've seen?
Yeah. You know, 4 weeks ago, getting started on this process, everybody's asking about Colorado. My mind, you know, just went to off-schedule plays, you know, him making things happen, you know, outside the pocket or, you know, off schedule, right? He's the best player that NDSU has played yet. Okay, and I really believe that. This guy is process-oriented. He's progression-based. He's aware of footwork and timing and rhythm. He takes what the defense gives him. Okay, he goes to the right spots, and then on top of that, he can play off a platform, different platforms. I think he has a great ability. Probably in my opinion, his strongest suit is that he can get his cleats in the ground and deliver the ball quickly when he has to. You know, and that has a positive effect on RPOs. That has a positive effect on relief type plays, you know, a run with relief. He's impressive. You know, if you were to line up and show him a 3-man rush, he's going to buy time back there, buy time and hit second and third level throws that are uncommon, you know, with great accuracy and deep crossers and those kind of things. Some of his best plays are the simple play of throwing the ball away as well. I admire Shedeur from the standpoint that he's playing the position the way it's always been intended to play, you know, rhythm, timing, footwork, all matching up. And then you put on top of that the ability to extend plays looking to throw. He's not a runner first, but he is capable. But extending plays and keeping his eyes downfield is pretty impressive. It's exciting. I think our fans should be excited and should appreciate that they get to see one of the top, you know, a first-round draft pick at quarterback get to play against the Bison.
Is he better in the pocket than you thought then? From when
Well,
you
he's just,
look at it now?
you know, once you sit down, right, like I mentioned to Sam, I think we were talking, Pro Football Focus has all these cool different cut-ups, and I was able to pull his best 250 plays. And then you start to really have an appreciation for he's playing the position. There's a lot of guys that are really good, they're really scary, that just are making throws or they beat you with their feet. He is playing the spot. You know, I several times found myself back in the quarterback coaching chair and like bump, 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 bump. I mean, there's some rhythm there and there's some tempo, and you got to appreciate it.
Coach, you talk about, you know, anticipation, you use the word excitement. Is it a little bit tough to start losing All-Americans and they're not even playing games like that, to have the next man up conversation before game one and kind of not let the air out of the balloon a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, right? And I will answer it this way. I have not seen Hunter Brosio play football here. So it just provides a little bit of, man, are we really losing a guy? The person, okay, I feel terrible for. Getting to know this guy as a leader, my heart breaks. Knowing what this guy has gone through to even try to get back or to get back multiple times and the impact that he has in not only his unit room, but amongst the whole team is crushing. Okay, we'll find ways to cultivate for him to still be part of it. But from a player standpoint, I was hoping I'd get to see more of him so I'd have an opinion on, man, we lose this element offensively. And I think Jeff and I had a conversation. To me, Truman's been out there the most, right? Huffstad's just getting back. And so I think we're still deep at that position. I think that offensively we have to be creative enough and have enough tools in our toolbox that's not going to be this astronomical conceptual loss. But from a person and his family, my heart, we had a moment, we shared a moment. I wish Hunter the best moving forward in vet school, and he's going to be a good leader for us. He means a lot.
Any chance we see freshman early?
Yeah, I think Will Washington has a shot. He's practicing with us. He's a corner, big, tall corner. He's picked things up faster than maybe we thought he would, and that's not – we didn't have a negative assumption about it, but he's been pretty quick to pick some things up. Will Stiles shows real promise on special teams, and from the safety spot, he's ahead football IQ-wise. He needs to tackle better. Peter Haugaw, depending on circumstances, will play potentially. And then I know I'm missing one, guys. I'm sorry. And Jackson Williams is up practicing with us. And I think right now our intent with where we're at health-wise, which is pretty good. I know you mentioned a couple guys, but our intent would be to try to play those guys 4 games, maybe get to the playoffs and play them some more. But if we have to, we'll keep pushing those guys up.
Your first game as a head coach, Deion Sanders is on the other sideline. That's got to be kind of surreal, right? What's the feeling like there?
Yeah, for sure. But I'm hopeful I get a chance to have a moment. I've talked to a lot of people that have played Colorado. He may not come out for pregame, and that's Coach Sanders' prerogative. It's a big deal to me just because I grew up. He broke our hearts as Packer fans a couple times. But he was the first guy to do any of this self-promotion stuff. And then, what he did as a baseball player and a football player, all that, just to me, I'd like to think I'm a football sports junkie. You can't deny what this guy has done as an athlete. And so if anytime that kind of person's in the building, it's pretty cool. I still remember Jerry Rice at the national championship being in the hotel, and my mom, walked right by him and didn't say anything. I said, Mom, that's Jerry Rice, best receiver ever. Before, when you had to do it for 12 to 14 years, not just a year. But no, we got a football game, and this isn't about me. It's not about how I feel. It's about these players going and playing fast. And have we prepared them? I think for maybe a moment, it'll be a big deal. But outside of that, we'll be ready to rock and roll. I don't think it's anything like Coach Bull talking about being 23 years old and being across from Bo Schembechler and coaching at Wisconsin and getting beat by 40 or whatever it was.
For you, you talk about the importance of the O-line being one of the most physical teams in the country. What does success look like, on the offensive line side against, Colorado for you guys?
Success early just looks like productivity. We have to be efficient and productive so that our conditioning and how we practice can have a chance to play a role in this game, right? And I think if it's 3 and 4 early and often, I think that becomes 5 and 6 as time goes on. It's very hard to break somebody's will in the first quarter. That typically happens late in the third or going into the fourth. So we have to be productive enough on third down, okay? And we have to eliminate 3rd and 7+. That's a better situation for them than it is for us. The more we're playing in 50-50 downs where it's run pass, play action, quarterback run, the whole 9 yards, the better our chances are. And I think that always will. And no matter what kind of offense you have, it always starts up front. And they have to go out there and be very productive, and they know that.
With being out, Ryan Jones stepping in, going against Will Shepard and Travis Hunter and the whole Jimmy Hart, how do you kind of prepare those guys in a moment like that, stepping in for an All-American?
We'd be in different spots if I could say, do you have the answer? Honestly, they have to value technique and fundamentals and trust the matchups that they've had. I think that question, though, back in 14 and 13 and 12 maybe would have, would have been a little bit more scary to answer. I like that we have some ability at receiver now and some size and some pitchers that our defensive backs can play through. We play with a little bit of tempo. We're able to go with a tempo period. And so Ryan, just like everybody else, is going to have to go out there and leverage and trust his preparation and play fast. And then I got news for everybody. We are going to get beat. We are going to give up some yards in this game. Can our defense stay confident enough to break on the ball and make a big play when it matters?
Have you talked to the kids, to the team, about handling the moment and handling the stage? Because it's going to be a little bit different, I think, than what a lot of these guys have been through before.
We've talked a lot about what pregame is going to look like, what the hoopla is going to look like. I've asked them to eliminate or limit social media starting yesterday. There's just no reason for us to be on that right now. We should be in our notes. We should be in our, we should be sleeping, those kind of things. So we've talked a lot about just what's going to be going on pregame. I mean, it could be a concert going on. There could be multiple superstars. We're going to bring Tyrone Braxton with us, and he'll be down there with us. But they could have 50, 60 people on the sideline that could all be distractions for us. And we've got to stay very focused on our routines individually and then just stay connection-oriented with our own players. I want to see a lot of connection, a lot of high-fiving, a lot of patting on the butt, a lot of fist pumping and those kind of things. And then as far as the game environment goes, you just rely on bringing crowd noise to the forefront at practice. You bring in music, you try to change it up, make it quiet, those kind of things. And so hopefully we prepare them the best we can. It's no different than Iowa going into Penn State. You can't replicate that.
Tony, the corner. How did he end up winning this job?
Oh, just consistency, being a great teammate. You know what? By applying all 5 of our core values or our standards and being competitive, improvement, and tough all the way through it. He is just a great kid. He has taken advantage of the opportunity, and therefore he's won the job. I mean, he shows up versus the run game. You like his length, coverage and zone coverages specifically. That's hard to deal with when the corners have some length. I don't know. Tony attacked the process, and Will's doing a good job coaching the group. Will was open to, okay, these jobs are open, right? And I think Tony capitalized on it, but it probably starts with Tony's attitude and approach each and every day is pretty consistent.
Tim, is Travis Hunter more dangerous, a wide receiver or a corner?
I tried to get the scouts to tell me today. You know what? I don't know. And he's listed as the nickel, so will he defend the slot or will he defend the X? Those are 2 critical areas for defense, to consider. He can make game-changing plays on both sides. I think, when he's at corner, we got to be really conscious of the matchup. What kind of route are we throwing at him? And then I think, also if we can make him play a bunch of reps, make them go the long, hard way on offense, make them stay out there on defense, that'll have an effect on the young man. But as a DB, as talented and as skilled as he is, and being able to eliminate somebody, that's sure a big positive.
How important is it to run the ball to keep some possession?
Yeah, I would most times probably say it really don't matter as long as we're efficient, right? You got to get to this magic number of 50. Whether that's, rushes plus completions, that's been a deal here for a long time. But I think it's really important for a couple reasons. I think it can take the air out of the stadium. I think it can keep Shador on the sideline. When those guys are used to playing and having the ball in their hands, that's the best way to frustrate them, I think. But the bottom line is efficient plays is what matters most, whether we have to throw it or run it. I'm anticipating a big box. 7. They're going to have 7 versus our 6. They're going to have 8 versus our 7, and it's probably going to come with man coverage. That's kind of the way of the NFL, and that's where this guy comes from. And so we'll have to displace the line of scrimmage and the point of attack to make yards, but running the ball will be critical to our success.
Coach, you have a lot of renewed excitement in the program, especially here in the area with fans, and a lot of them are heading down to Boulder to watch this game. What does it mean to see, though, that the commitment and the excitement around your program with these fans, wanting to support you guys, whether it's here in Fargo or down in Boulder?
I guess you take a sense of pride in it, but I think Matt and Todd and Derek are back there. I think that they would say we've worked hard at it too. You know, they've laid out some really good opportunities for me to show up and to be myself. And it's just been really good to get reunited with a lot of good people. I wish I could say they're all friends, and hopefully they become friends. But I just have tried to get here and never change, you know, as far as not being myself. And I think most people would tell you, Tim's going to tell you what's on his mind. He's pretty passionate about whatever it is that he's talking about. I don't engage in a lot of things that I don't have interest in. It doesn't make me feel very smart, number one. Number two, I don't think it's that much fun. And so it's just been really cool to be back in the great community. We need everybody in this community, you know, especially when we get home. But it's going to be really cool to see another road game well attended by the Bison.
Are you guys doing anything to prepare for the altitude difference?
We did. We just went and practiced hard. I mean, I kind of wish we had, you know, an elevation chamber or something. Those are expensive. You know, I used to work out at the deal in Wyoming because they actually would decrease it for track and wrestling when they would leave, and then you could increase it to a certain amount. Guys, there's no replacement from breathing hard and working hard, and we do that as good as anybody in the country. Everybody keeps asking, how's it going? We practice well. Our kids work really hard. We have good blue-collar kids. And Jim, again, really feels good about where our weight is. Our intentional attitude towards sleep and conditioning and working out is all on par. And it's 5,000 feet. It's not 7,200. And we've done everything we can to be in great shape. And I like the kickoff time, too. You know, if it was maybe in the middle of the day, maybe you would have done some post-practice conditioning. But I like what we executed this fall.
You having fun yet?
I was having a bunch of fun. And then, like I said, last Sunday I woke up. And, you know, just things changed, right? Like, are we going to position these guys? How can we position these? But that's why my opening statement, I didn't mean like we're questioning anything that we did, but did we leave anything out there that we needed to cover? Could we have done more of this or more of that? And looking back at the plan and the plans each and every day, I thought the fall camp schedule was well received by our leadership council. You know, we had that meeting and talk at my house the other night. Yeah, I'm still having fun. It is. It's fun to see. What's fun is to see Devin Kleiman continue to grow. You know, watching Grant operate and continuing to grow. You know, seeing Randy Hedberg get to be part of this technology and those things that, you know, I took great joy in. And then I've been trying to find ways this week, you know, to get around our seniors and some of our guys that have been through the fire, just to let them know we believe in them. Make sure that they bring everybody else along with them. That's been fun.
Reaction to the in-helmet communication? How is he enjoying that?
You know, he's a big football guy, and so I know he's talked to Easton and Carson and those guys, Trey Lance, you know, about it. And so he was pretty excited about it because you can get a little bit more information to the quarterback.
We've had the conversation already, I guess, about shapes and sizes, but a lot of your returning productivity out wide is guys you would normally see kind of in the slot.
Yeah.
Can you speak to Bryce and Mackay and even Tyler Jarrett as the bigger guys that can sort of diversify your room for you and their progress this fall?
Well, I think that's it's probably twofold, right? Like, a couple of those guys aren't far from being, you know, capable guys to block line of scrimmage guys with their size. You know, Mackay, Chris Harris, you know, Tyler Terhart's a really tough special teams player. And so I think they can impact some of the perimeter run game, and they can also protect us from safeties and corners supporting our inside run game. That's where I would start. Braylon has had an unbelievable 8 months of growth, productivity. I mean, he's been an Iron Man. He's been out there every day. He just goes. His teammates rewarded him with being voted a captain. He's been super productive, and it was really good to get Raj back for the last 7 or 8 days because you see his playmaking ability not only on offense but special teams. And so we've got some diverse bodies. I mean, Gores has had a great spring again. You know, Jackson Williams provides a little bit different body type. And then I'll say this, Silas Evans is coming on. You know, it's going to take some time for him to learn the ins and outs. But I like the diversity of the group. And then, you know, Bryce Lance has had a really good fall camp, and I'm excited. He's one of the guys I'm excited about. I mean, I'm just shocked he's got one career catch. I'm excited to see this guy go play because that's not the guy that the guy I've been around, all right, is a heck of a football player. And I believe in him, and I can't wait to watch Bryce Lance play this season and see where his body of work and what that looks like.
Is there an update on Barika?
Barika will be a Wednesday decision. And everything that we've asked him to do, he's looked solid.
So is Halgo kind of that guy?
Guys, Peter Halgo, okay, is up with us right now. And if we have some injuries, Peter Halgo will have to play because we'll get to a certain point of our depth. It may run out. BK will get, addressed on Wednesday morning early with Dr. Pyatt. Marty Brown and TK Marshall have had great fall camps. Okay, I don't think there's a story there yet for Peter Halgo being a freshman that's going to play a bunch or any of that kind of stuff. Okay, I think we have Raj, who's back healthy now, that would get consideration at running back. And this Cole Payton kid, based on last year, is a pretty darn good runner. And again, we have creative minds that have been in a lot of different offensive systems. I think we have more options there. I really do. I think Peter's done a wonderful job. Peter's going to be a real productive player. He gets better and better every day at running back, at being decisive and running behind his pads. But he's still a young guy learning that these guys all can run around him pretty good too. Thank you.